Welcome to History 103. I'm Senya Lubisich, your instructor, and we're going to start off with our 3 units for the course. Civilizations is our first unit, and it's an incredible look at human complexity. Our class is going to begin with the earliest origins of human society. We call these prehistoric origins because they are before we have written records. So we rely on the work of anthropologists, archaeologists, and the human artifacts that have been left behind to help us understand the human record. During the first part of this unit, we're going to explore early humans. We're also going to look at the hunter and gatherer societies that began to develop, and how those then in turn changed into the more complex societies that are the next step in this unit. Part of that process is the domestication of plants and animals and the beginning of agricultural-based communities. Even though we are covering thousands of years, our chapters are going to move quickly, and you're going to find yourself looking at the river basins, cities, and states that began to develop all around the world around 1200 BCE. In these complex cities and river basins, we begin to see the first signs of true civilization, which is a term we're going to discuss and debate a lot in class. Some of the characteristics that we assign to civilization is urbanization, it is long-distance trade, perhaps stratified society. Persistent pastoralism is one of the points that you see on the PowerPoint slide, and I want you to always remember the pastoralist. A lot of times, in looking at civilizations, we like to think of it as a linear process, and that what was there before fades away. But throughout this course, I'm going to keep asking you to remember the role of pastoralists. They are an integral part of our understanding of civilizations, and as we work through this class, one of the most important groups of pastoralists are actually going to come to dominate the known world. That will be the Mongols. As we move through these complex civilizations, we're eventually going to get to periods of innovation, migration, microsocieties, and territorial states. These are the entities that persist beyond those early civilizations, those complex cities gathered around the river basins. And instead, what we see are people who are responding to climate change and collapse. We are also seeing the fusion of, remember the pastoralists, migratory and settled people as they again begin to cooperate and innovate together. We also see increasing populations and expanding trade. These are all characteristics of the things that develop in this early stage of civilizations. We're going to talk about all of these developments, these 3 phases, and frame them within an understanding of the ecology of civilization, which very basically is the way that people interact with their environment and the changes that those interactions produce. One of the things that I want you to be critical of are the 4 river basins that we tend to focus on in most of the early part of human history. The Nile Valley, the Tigris-Euphrates, the Indus Valley, and the Yellow Yangtze river basins. Those are all river basins that have 4 very, very different environments, and the civilizations that emerge there are wildly different from each other, and therefore a lot of fun to study. But keep in mind that there are other river valleys and other civilizations and other ways that people are engaging with their environment, and that's also a really important discussion to have in History 103. So in addition to remembering the pastoralist, remember that environments vary, culture is diverse, and that we get to have a lot of fun exploring that.